Good morning, everyone. This is Elsie Kerns, and I have a question. Do you love food as much as I do? Do you struggle with food as much as I do? Also, this morning I have the beautiful Maya Carl, who is a holistic health coach, meditation teacher, and has her own website, Gentle Health Journey. And I want to welcome Maya to our little broadcast today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Elsie.
So before we really start to talk about food, Maya, can you just share briefly that part of what led you into this field was your own issues with food?
Absolutely. I can definitely speak to that. So, like so many people in the world, we have issues with food. A lot of people, even if you don't have a classified eating disorder, have some kind of disordered eating. And I definitely did for a very long time. Before I had been diagnosed with digestive issues, I was using food as my only coping mechanism. So that was the only way that I knew to find comfort, to find happiness, to find satisfaction ultimately. I mean, there were definitely, I had my moments, but food was really my vice at that point. And that actually led to a lot of digestive distress and finding out that I had a digestive disorder. And along with that, I was also struggling with binge eating disorder. So I was dealing with food in all these different ways, and it was so overwhelming and so confusing because I continued to realize that everyone has something different to say about it. Nutrition is such a young science, it's such a young field that when something works for one person and it like blows their mind open, they share it with the rest of the world and expect it to work for everyone else. But that is not the case. We are bio individual creatures. We all have different systems, different stresses, different triggers. And that's what it was for me. I couldn't hook on to a certain diet or a certain way of eating or whatever it was because I was dealing with the eating disorder, but I was also just struggling to figure out what was true around food. And for so long, I had been dealing with poor body image and disordered eating and using it as a coping mechanism that I just thought that was normal. So many people just fall into this groove with food because it is something we do every day. It's something that we do every few hours. So it's so easy to create habits around that. And I did. But once I started shifting and realizing, oh my gosh, I don't have to struggle. I don't have to suffer this much. I don't have to have my life and my mind be consumed by food. The food was consuming me. I was consuming so much of it, but it was consuming my life. And that really brought me to starting my own practice, to healing, to being in recovery, to helping women find a healthy, loving, sustainable relationship with food in their body. And that's really how I came to it, was my own mess. I made my mess my message.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Maya, in your holistic health coaching, you use an interesting term that I've not heard before. You talk about eating intuitively. So I have no idea what that is. Can you explain that?
Yes, absolutely. So, Elsie, you know a whole lot about intuition and energy and the way that, we interact with our bodies and the universe. And it's applying so many of those mindfulness principles to food. And so I love talking about this. So, we are all born intuitive eaters. If you have ever been around a child, like a young child or a baby especially, they know when to stop eating, right? Like if a baby is breastfeeding, it will push mom away when it's done. It cries when it wants food. It knows, right? So as we grow up, things start to interfere with that intuition around food. Our parents are telling us you need to eat this or you need to eat that. You need to continue to eat or you need to stop eating. And it throws off our internal GPS or our internal signals on what is good for us and what we actually need. And we have to come back to that. That is what intuitive eating really is. And what I help people do is it's coming home to the body, first of all, first and foremost. So it's really being present in your body, recognizing your biological hunger cues, knowing that you don't need to eat because of certain nutrition rules or societal standards. It's all about listening to the body and honoring it. Because a lot of people listen to their bodies. A lot of people hear, they don't really listen. They hear, they're like, their body's like, oh no, you don't want to eat that ice cream because you're going to feel like crap tomorrow. But they ignore it because it's just easier. It's like, oh, I want that instant pleasure and gratification. So it's this relationship that we're recreating and rebuilding with ourselves. It's like, and it shows up in so many different aspects of our life. When we're disconnected from our body and food becomes an issue, a lot of other things become an issue, because listening to our intuition has to do with every decision we make. And intuitive eating is just bringing that into our relationship with food and really being able to tap in and be like, am I hungry right now? How hungry am I? Is that what I want to eat? Or is that what I think I need to eat because I've been dieting my whole life? It's this really amazing push and pull, but eventually it just helps take the stress away from food. It just completely removes it, because it's not something that you have to freak out over or stress about, because it's just the way that you're moving through the world and interacting and listening and acting upon.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned ice cream, because last night I said, oh, just a little gelato won't hurt. And I ignored my intuition, and my gallbladder spoke very specifically to me later. So you're absolutely right about listening to what we really need to eat and what intuitively our body is leading us to. And
Right.
Karen and Donna, we have Denise, and a couple of other people on here that are agreeing with you and liking this term, eating intuitively. Well, now I know you and your partner are headed out for a road trip,
Yeah.
and you leave in just a couple of days. You'll be teaching all over the country. Let us know what that's going to be look like.
Absolutely. So my partner, who is actually also a holistic health coach, we have renovated a van, and we are going to be traveling basically the perimeter of the country for about 3 months. And on the way, we're going to be teaching how to have a plant-based diet and how to connect back to the earth through food and meditation and other mindfulness practices and basic wellness workshops to really, network and travel, but also to bring these basic wellness concepts to the world, because so many people need just little slight lifestyle changes to radically improve their lives. And we have those tools and we want to share them, because inevitably, my mission as a health coach is to help people heal themselves and heal the earth through their connection with food, because food is what directly connects us to the earth. It comes from the earth. It speaks to our cells. It gives our cells information as to what to become, as to how to become it. Our food, whatever we're putting into our body, is becoming our hair, our nails, our skin, our organs. And when people are more educated and understand, it's easier to make better food choices, because you have that knowledge. Because if you have that positive relationship with yourself and you want to be healthy, you know that these things are going to benefit you, and you're working with your body, not against it, like so many people are who have been on crash diets their entire life, which are a lot of people. I have a lot of clients who have been dieting for literally 4 or 5 decades and don't want to do it anymore. So I like to bring that information forward and say, you don't have to. We are in a culture obsessed with diet, but you don't have to be a part of it. And you can live your life free from that and enjoy food. Have it be a pleasure for you and not a stressful experience.
Maya, that's a great idea. It sounds like so much fun. And the fact that both of you are, certified holistic health coaches really adds to the information that you can bring together. I also know that in your practice, you incorporate some Ayurvedic concepts, and people may not be familiar with Ayurvedic medicine, but it is the medicine of India, and it is over 5,000 years old. Chinese medicine is only 3,000 years old. But I know that lately you've been incorporating a certain amount of that within your practice, studying with somebody in Philadelphia, and that you actually hope to study the whole program at some point. So tell us how you're integrating that.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to. So I can honestly say that intuitive eating and Ayurveda saved my life. Like literally saved my life because the binge eating and that all had me in a deep depression. It was rarely scary. I mean, I've had a history in my life of anxiety and depression, which is also why I've come to this practice and do meditation and teach meditation. But those two things together literally saved my life because it was causing me so much stress. And what Ayurveda does is exactly what I aim to do as a health coach, is to reconnect people back to nature, back to their nature. Ayurveda is earth-based wisdom, which is why it hasn't gone away. It's 5,000 years old and is still practiced today because the cycles of the earth are still the same. And that's what that lifestyle wisdom is based on. So certain specific things that Ayurveda has taught me that I've incorporated into my own life are the morning routine. So waking before the sun, tongue scraping, brushing your teeth, having a cup of warm tea, doing yoga and meditation, and then starting your day, and then really looking at your phone and getting into technology and answering questions. But like having that mindful wake up to start your day. I use that with a lot of people and have introduced meditation, which is a huge piece of Ayurveda, to people because it's the easiest, most free tool that you can use to improve your well-being on a regular basis. Also helping people understand their mind body type. So in Ayurveda, there is one of the three humors, or the three humors of Ayurveda are the doshas, or your constitution. And that is your mind body type. So that means, and implies that your mind and your body are connected, but they are kind of two different entities in the way that you handle balancing them. And they're made up of Earth's natural elements. So ether, air, fire, water, earth. And everything in the world, every food, every environment, every season, every time of day has one of these combinations of these elements. So when we recognize that and see it, in our environment around us and know the qualities, it becomes intuitive because we're like, oh, I'm feeling a little too fiery today. I need to cool down. Or, I'm feeling really cool and damp and like heavy today. I need some fire in me, or I need some air. I need some creativity. So helping people recognize that in the world and in their own lives and bring that into balance.
Maya, that sounds like a nice integration, but there's another thing today that's a big buzz: intermittent fasting.
Yes.
So how does that fit into regulating our food or allowing our body to get a break? What do you think about that?
That is a great question. And I really love intermittent fasting. So what intermittent fasting is by definition is not consuming food or anything really that's going to stimulate your metabolism for an extended period of time, right? So everyone knows what fasting is. Intermittent is shorter periods of time more often, usually. Some people, for religious reasons fast for days, but this isn't usually days long. It's usually like 16 hours, 18 hours, longer than you would normally go without eating. And some of the benefits of it, which I've experienced from doing it, are giving your digestive system a break. So many people are eating on a regular schedule, which is good. You want to eat at a regular time, usually, according to Ayurveda, eating on a regular basis is good, but sometimes we eat when we're not hungry. And that's where the kind of intuitive eating comes in as well, is because we're just eating because we think we need to eat. A lot of people don't eat according to their biological hunger cues. They just eat because it's time. Everyone's eating. Your partner's eating. They just got home. Like, let's eat with them. And it gives your body time to really process and lighten up. Because, again, so many times people are just like in a constant state of consumption and they don't give that time and space. And the effects it has are great because sometimes you have more energy. If you're not used to it, it can be tiring because we do need food. You shouldn't do intermittent fasting when you have a lot to do. You shouldn't be like super stimulated when you're doing it. It's a time for the body to rest and be at peace. Some people work out on while they fast, and that has a lot of good benefit for the body as well. But you need to really experiment and be careful with it. And a huge part of what I tell people who are very or want to get into intuitive eating or have dieted a lot and are wondering about intermittent fasting is that you never want to do it from a place of starving yourself, because fasting is starving yourself, essentially, like intentionally not eating. And a lot of people have done that throughout their lives to skip a meal and to not have as many calories and to punish themselves. And if it's ever done from that state of mind, it's going to have an ill effect on your body. You want to do it from a place of, okay, I'm just going to give my body a break. I'm going to give it a rest. I'm going to honor this time that I have to not consume and to do other things and to cleanse my body, but I'm not doing it from a place of self-hatred. And that's a really big part of it, at least for me, and what I encourage people to recognize when they're in that space.
Maya, I think that's very good advice. And also, we hear about spring cleansing the body, but I think you also have to be careful about how you do that. So
Absolutely.
anything you can say about that?
Yeah, 100%. So in Ayurveda, actually, in between the seasons, especially between winter and spring and summer and fall, it is ideal to do a cleanse because seasonally, we just have this toxic buildup in our body, especially in between winter and spring when people have been a lot less active just because of the weather. We just have a more toxic load in us. So doing a cleanse is a good idea. There are ways to do it. Doing a cleanse is not starving yourself for a few days. A really wonderful cleanse that I can actually provide some information on that I've done is a khichdi cleanse. And khichdi is this incredibly healing Ayurvedic dish. It consists of a certain ratio of mung beans and basmati rice with a bunch of incredibly healing spices in it, and then whatever vegetables you like. And so that's a very gentle cleanse because you're still eating solid food, but it's having a great effect on your body. It's pulling toxins out of your intestines and out of your cells. And you can still eat like real food. I feel like a lot of people are jumping into juice cleanses and grapefruit cleanses. I don't even know. People think of some interesting stuff, but um, it is a good time to give your body a little break and to have a little bit of detoxification. That could mean getting a massage, having that energy, having your everything that's going on just shifted and moved a little bit. Going to a sauna, finding ways to do that. I think that people need to be careful because not everyone is ready for a cleanse. You always have to ease into it and ease out of it. You can't just, stop eating food one day and then eat juice or then drink juice for a week and then just start eating food because your body is going to be like, whoa, what the is going on, But I think that they are actually really beneficial at this time of year specifically.
Very good advice. So help us understand your coaching opportunities, because I know you're up in above New York there, but you also see people on Skype or Zoom. How does that work?
Absolutely. So I have my private practice, yes, here in New York, but that will very soon be a mobile practice because I will not be here as of the end of the week. I'm currently only accepting a few more people into my practice because I will be traveling, but I do have 2 or 3 more spaces available. And what that program usually looks like, if it's just one-on-one, it's a 6-month program. And over that period of time, we explore and create small sustainable action steps that you can incorporate into your life to improve your quality of life immediately. And the 6 month piece of it is actually really wonderful because it allows us to have those ups and downs. If anyone's ever been on a crash diet or been on a program, you know that there are ups and downs, and the down is usually when you fall off. But the 6 months allows this time to have love, support, accountability in really reaching the health goals that you want to have. So that's one of them. Another coaching opportunity that I have is my 3 month online group coaching program called Food Ease. So, like everyone's a foodie, but this is like food ease. So no stress, relax. And that is really my introduction and diving into intuitive eating. And that is usually a group of 5 or 6 women online. There's a Facebook forum. You get 2 one-on-one sessions with me a month and 2 group coaching sessions. So it's a pretty intensive program. You're very, very connected to me, very connected to the group. And I'm going to start another round of that in April. So I've opened registration. It'll be later in April, but it's a really amazing program. I've had women really come out of it with profound change and self-love, and it's the whole goal of it is to help create a loving, sustainable relationship with food and your body. So that's another one. And I also have a 6-week de-stress program. So it's really learning a lot of mindfulness techniques, one-on-one meditation classes, really just relaxing and having meditations tailored to what you need at that time to help you drop in, to help you let go, to help you move through things that are difficult. So those are a couple of them. And then I'll be doing workshops and webinars online while I'm traveling. And one more thing, actually. This isn't exactly a coaching opportunity, but another way to stay connected. I have created a Patreon account. It's similar to a GoFundMe, but a little different. And what you do is you basically pledge like a certain amount a month, and there's different tiers to it. And I will be posting weekly meditation videos, which you'll have access to, and wellness tip videos while I'm traveling. And then there's other tiers that get you like a 30-minute check-in session every month, and then discounts on my programs and things like that. So I can definitely send you the information for that.
Maya, that all sounds very exciting. I'm ready to sign up. Tell us how we can get in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely. So if you would love to get in touch with me, I have a website, which is mayacarlcoach.com. You can contact me through there. You can also email me at maya.h.carl@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram with my business's name, Gentle Health Journey. It's gentle_health_journey. Or my business page on Facebook, which is also Gentle Health Journey. And I'm sure there's other ways to contact me, but those are the big ones. I can't hear you, Elsie. I can't hear you, Elsie.